So, why high interest rates are actually an opportunity for anyone who's in the financial industry who might be related with commercial financing. My name is Desmond Soon, and this is Sua Trung, my business partner, the founder of CFM Commercial Financing Mastery. And today I want to bring him on because in the previous video that we did, we were talking a lot about this trend right now where we're talking about the trillions of dollars in debt and the private lending that may be so-called drying up, and we may be looking at another 2008. A lot of buzz is going on right now about the market, and with oil prices at all-time highs due to the Iran conflict. How does that pertain to commercial financing? How does that pertain to having liquidity for businesses to operate? And so I want to bring Sua in here so that he can explain and share his 30 years of experience and why that makes, in times like this, the cycles that we have gone through and we've experienced, the average person who deals in financing, particularly those that might be in residential or even just retail banking, many of them never get exposed to the commercial financing world, and they don't understand that in times like this is actually when the commercial financing specialist, the specialist, not the generalist, actually excels. Right? And there's cycles that can go through that. So there are conversations right now about the petrodollars, system changing. There are many commenters. Like I see all these YouTube videos out there where they're warning about the financial system. It's extremely
doom and gloom.
Yeah. Doom and gloom, right? All doom and gloom.
Yeah.
And it's all meant for clickbait and to have you watch and give watch time. However, we want to frame this in a way where if you are a financial professional, you can actually look for the opportunities, connect with the right who, and if you know how to structure the deals, like I've learned from Sua myself, then you may potentially unlock a lot of opportunities. So maybe what you can do is kind of summarize for us, like what are the major concerns right now? All about the rising global debt, the high interest rates, the private credit crisis, the geopolitical risks, the currency shifts. How does that affect day to day and day-to-day businesses, no matter where you are, whether you're in the United States, Canada, whether you're in Texas or you're in Ontario or British Columbia? How do professionals in the commercial financing space view this, especially ones like yourself with 30 years of experience? How do you see this as an opportunity?
Well, right now, today, even the interest rate is still in the 5%, like for commercial, for example. Back in the days, in the mid 1990s, I even remember when I first got involved in the banking in the late 1990s, interest rates were double digit, 10, 12, 15%. Retail bank. Who would have guessed? How did business get affected those days?
They still continue.
They had to keep going. They have to keep going. They have to keep it going, right? You gotta pay the piper. So learn how to deal with it. To them is like business. We don't see like tomorrow. We don't see like next year. We have a 5-10 year game plan. Sure, that game plan needs to be adjusted and pivoted and make do with it. Increase margin, increase your profit margin or decrease your profit margin, survive, right? Survive, then thrive. For those who don't survive, die. Right? So I think what it is for somebody like us who is strategic thinking, contrarian, we say, look, 1990, same, 2008, same, 2018, 2022, same. What's the difference? We're still here.
Yep.
Right? So ignore the doom and gloom. It's going to repeat again in the next 8 to 12 years. Sure, this one time, it took a long time to get here. It was over 12 years, right? We're late to the game. It's a cyclical thing.
Yeah.
Banks understand this. Lenders understand this. They're not in it for the short term either. Like none of their loans are like less than a year. I mean, relatively speaking, they want 2, 3, 5, 10 years.
Yep.
Right.
And I guess I'm sorry, like money becomes expensive, I guess it becomes more profitable as well.
More profitable.
Yes.
Exactly. So when I was getting to that, when you talk about the last 5-10 years, decade, money was so cheap. My private investor says, hell with that. I'm investing in the property. I'm not going to take my money to lend it out. There's no point.
Right.
So what are you going to get me? 5, 6? That's nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So the margin is actually a lot better now for private lender, for hard money lender. Yes. The margin for the bank is actually, honestly, commercial money is usually like 1.5%, 2% higher, but residential money, I think the good number would be currently right now between 3 to 4%. That's when the banks actually make some money. Before, it's just a loss leader.
Yep.
right? It Doing the 1.99 or 0.9% interest rate. I've had those. I've had it on my investment property, right? So the money is not being made that way. The money's being made. What else can they sell to me? Credit
Yeah.
line, car lease, insurance, all
Yeah.
the extra
I
stuff,
mean, business also
right?
still need the development capital, right? Like they need the bridge
Yep,
financing, they need
yep,
the
yep.
refinancing, restructuring, and that's where you're a big proponent of teaching this in your cohorts, right? About like being the specialist, not the generalist, right? It's
Yep.
something that you always talk about, and
Because that's where you find the money. Being generous as anybody can do that.
yeah,
You're just commodity. But when it became harder and harder, lenders
yeah,
are tightening the lending guidelines. All of a sudden, those easy lenders are gone,
yeah,
right? The lenders who were harder to lend out money during the good times, they're not opening the pocketbooks
yeah,
because it makes sense now,
yes,
right? From a business standpoint, it says now we're making money. We'll lend it out. And they also know because the high interest rate, only the savvy business owner, savvy project who
yes.
have done a lot of due diligence that they know they can hit these numbers. There's more assurance to lend out this money too.
Mm, okay.
All right. Because who's gonna go build something right now? Are you
Yeah,
crazy?
yeah,
You gotta know your numbers. Like you really, really have to know. It's a guaranteed slam dunk. You got buyers lined up.
yeah.
Who's got buyers lined up for condo developments today?
The market is
Goose
so soft.
eggs.
Yeah,
Goose
exactly.
eggs.
It's going
Right?
backwards.
Yeah, so build smart. So my investors aren't building those.
Yeah,
What are my investors building? What's what the lender wants to lend to? That's what my builders are doing.
right.
They're not building the same thing that everybody else is doing the last 5, 10 years.
And what are you seeing? Like, are there
Right?
any shifts? Like, are you seeing like AI data centers? Are
Oh
you seeing,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
mining
The last
sector?
mile, even the
Right.
last mile. Forget about data center.
Yeah.
What provides the data center help?
What provides the
Who
data?
who's going to build it?
I don't know. I don't know who. Oh,
Do
the
you know how
construction.
much?
Oh, for all the developers and right. Yeah.
Who's who knows how to build these places?
Right. Okay.
Not the usual people,
No. No.
right?
Yep.
They need HVAC people.
Yep.
So I've been helping finance HVAC, for example, like one of my
Yeah.
client,
Because they
right?
got to cool. And
They
you got to keep
own,
everything
they're
cool. Yeah.
expanding their field, they're expanding their teams. People
Yeah.
are like saying they're losing their job. No hell, go become a plumbing and heating specialist.
That's right.
You're
HVAC,
guaranteed to.
electrician.
That, yo,
Yeah.
those jobs gonna skyrocket.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to become an electrician, owns a business, I can
Yeah.
help finance those. All of my 300 graduates can help finance those.
Right. Yep.
The money's there for the smart people,
Yep.
right?
And in the
For the
previous
same, you won't
in
you won't
one of
have
our
access to
previous
money.
videos, we also talked about for a brand new person, who might be watching this video and you're just joining the channel for the first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and comment in the
Please
comments
do.
below. We always
Yeah.
answer every question.
Yeah, we
Uh,
love, we love to hear and we'll create new contents based on your questions, all right?
right, and
Oh.
you will answer the questions. Yeah, exactly. Like we can create new videos based on it. So imagine if I'm a brand new person watching this channel, right? That's the role I generally play here. Sometimes when you guys comment, I answer the question as if I'm you. I bring it. So if I'm brand new, and let's say I've got a little bit of financial experience on my belt, I may have worked in an accounting firm. In fact, I did. That's how you met me. Was other than the high ticket sales and other things. By the time I came back to Canada, and I was involved with a CPA firm
Accountant,
out
yeah.
of accounting firm out of Alberta, and we were dealing only with business owners. We're dealing with them and electricians, HVAC, and so forth. What would you recommend for myself to be looking at? You've already mentioned HVAC, electricians. So those would be people that I would want to be able to start building relationships with. Now, on the other side, though, on the lender side, how do I break into that? How do I get to that? That's the part I might only know a couple of lenders, but how do I figure out? Do I need an introduction? Is there a conference you attend? Is there a black book that has the list?
Yeah, there's a way to get into it. Like I have a long list of black book. All of my lenders on my black book. That not just 5, 6 lenders. We're talking about dozens and dozens of lenders in there,
Yeah.
right? From every retail bank, every credit union, pretty much across Canada. Even ones that you guys don't even know existed.
Yeah.
Even one shop from Shanghai, Taiwan, Korea. They come here. They have one bank branch, right?
Wow.
But They'll lend to everybody who's
Mhm.
Canadian
Yeah.
or landed immigrant, for example, too, right? Permanent residents. But most brokers don't know they exist,
Yeah.
right? So
So
it's
what
not
is
just
the way?
the existing,
Yeah.
not even just the existing lender. The existing lender is really hard to get access to because you got to book time with the receptionist. The receptionist got to figure out, they got to pre-qualify you. They go through different levels, I call
Yeah.
it. So branch level, personal banker, and then you got small business advisor, and then maybe they'll get you to the commercial guy eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many levels you got to go through to get access to the commercial money. They're not in the front. They're not at the branch. They're head
Right.
often usually,
So
or
how do you
upstairs
get through the
somewhere.
gatekeeper? Like how do you get through all those levels?
Well,
Like
someone like myself, we introduce you. You know, that's get bypass all those people, right?
yeah.
Bypass the branch, bypass the receptionist. I got the straight email, the cell phone number. Here, I can just text them. I was
Right.
like, hey, Desmond needs your time. Give me two
Yeah.
time slots. You're available. Boom.
Hey, I'm building a resort, ecotourism resort in Vietnam, just like so, right? Yeah, and
There you
just
go.
like my mentor, just like my business mentor, I'm building a resort over there, and I need an introduction, right? So
Yeah, it's very nice because through me,
yeah,
even if say for example my guy in Vancouver
yeah,
cannot do it because your
yeah,
project is in say Edmonton,
right,
he's gonna know somebody in Edmonton that's a colleague of his. Like
right,
when I was working with the big bank, we know each other across Canada. And
right,
I've just talk to John. Hey, I'll see you, John, and email introduce you. So
right,
I don't need to go to Edmonton to get access to that guy,
yeah.
all right, or that girl, right?
Well, right now, I
So
think even on top of that, on that topic, right? You were just talking about this in the recent cohort, and you've got one that's coming up right now on March the 18th.
yep, coming
At the
up
time of
going
this
soon.
recording. So if you're watching this, and maybe it's after March the 18th, just go to the link somewhere around this video. We will update. If you've missed that cohort, then just get on the wait list for the next cohort. But right now, one of the key topics that you've been talking about, so I know that you've been training amongst the alumni members, is how to break into the US for the Canadians. And then there's a lot of, if you're an American viewer, all the more because you've got some really big deals and projects going on in Texas, in Florida right now, and in several other states that I know that you've been introducing to the alumni members
Yeah,
about how to structure those deals. And it's so much more creative in the US as well, too, right? So maybe we should
yeah.
make another video one of these days on,
Oh, definitely. There's a lot to deep dive into that, and because there's a lot of moving parts.
yeah,
I mean, just on the dollar amount alone in Canada, sure, we have, the US, they're talking about what, 48 trillion or something like that,
yeah,
380
38
trillion,
trillion. Yep,
something just massive. Yeah.
yep.
$38 trillion, a massive amount of number. And you're thinking a lot of debt, that's bad. No, it's good.
It's really
And
good.
it's really good. Even in Canada, we're like 10% of it, but 3.8 trillion is still a whole bunch of money, like a whack of load up the trucks, keep on bringing,
Yeah,
right? I think they could pour all the money in front of Ottawa Parliament building, and it's still you don't understand what the 3.8 trillion looks like.
correct,
Uh,
correct.
so for us, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
For us, for small medium enterprise people, we're not affected. The
yeah,
big Honda, IBM, those guys are more directly impacted. The
yeah.
small medium enterprise business, we just do business as usual. Increase the cost of goods by
Yeah.
whatever 5, 8, 10%. So
Yeah.
what?
Okay.
Right? We figure a way how to deal with that. But
What would you recommend? What would be like your final, as we wrap up this video, what would be your final tip to someone who's a financial professional who's been, and kind of like stuck sitting on the fence right now? What would you say is their next step?
guys, when money's harder to get, our specialist ability ramps up. They want us. They need us now. It's not a matter of us trying to get them to be a customer. They look at all your colleagues as can't get done, can't get done.
Mm,
We're the one who are only able to get done.
yeah.
They'll pay you whatever you're worth. What they don't even care. Before they negotiate rates with us, now they don't care. They just get to get money. They need access,
Yeah.
right? So your value increase exponentially if and when and how. It's not about knowing all this stuff. All the other things is how to get the money.
Yeah. And then one thing
So
I'm super grateful. So I just got to say that, being one of your alumni graduates and going through 6 weeks of training, it wasn't just theory. It wasn't just about how to structure the deals. It wasn't about the introductions. Ultimately, it came down to doing, the first deal. That's something that nobody
yeah, I helped
offers.
you.
Yeah, you actually literally structure the deal together. So even if someone's completely brand new, you actually have the opportunity to bring the right, if it fits the, meets your requirements and your prerequisites, but you will actually spend the time and work and JV with the mentee and actually get it
Certainly.
right, which
Yeah.
nobody does. That's priceless if you ask me, right? So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comment below, subscribe, and so that way we will see you in the next video.
You
Okay.
bet.
Okay.